All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're unpacking a massive paradigm shift. We're talking about the indigenous modernity of Daesun thought, specifically focusing on its view of the human realm, the Inge, and the core principle of Sansa Jain. As you'll see, this philosophy completely reframes our place in the cosmos, moving us far away from traditional Western dualism and into a self-sustaining paradigm where human beings play literally the most critical role imaginable.
So, who actually manages the universe? What's really fascinating is that if you ask traditional Eastern philosophers or Western Enlightenment thinkers, you'd get totally different answers. Everything from an omnipotent heaven pulling the strings to cold, unfeeling natural laws. But today, we're looking at a framework that puts the ultimate cosmic responsibility squarely in our hands.
Here's our roadmap for the breakdown. We're going to cover the emergence of Ingei and Sangsajain, the Injan era and the shift of authority, the meaning of the mind and Yungdai, how all this compares with Western modernity, the ethics of Heiwan Songsang and repayment, and finally, the true significance of indigenous modernity.
Section 1. The emergence of Inge and Sangsajay. Let's see how human beings are framed not just as a byproduct of the universe, but as the absolute, indispensable mediators between heaven and earth.
Okay, so the whole framework really hinges on this concept of Sangsa-jayen. Simply put, it means the success of literally every affair rests with humanity. We aren't passive subjects just surviving under the whims of the cosmos anymore. According to Daesun thought, when the 9 heavenly Sangjae, the supreme god, descended to the human world, the entire universal order was completely reorganized. We are now active, required participants. Without us, the universe simply doesn't function.
Notice how humanity is positioned right in the center here, perfectly bridging heaven above and earth below. Divine authority directly intervened in the human world, and it fundamentally altered the relationship between God, humans, and nature. Humanity's status got a massive upgrade to help reorganize this entire cosmic order.
Moving into Section 2, the Injan era and the shift of authority. Because this huge cosmological shift, it didn't just happen overnight.
You can actually trace how ultimate authority transferred across 3 distinct eras. In the past era, Cheonjan, the world was ruled completely by heaven. Then, we moved into the middle era, Jijan, where earth and physical matter dictated the rules. But the current era? That's Injan, human dignity. The universe quite literally changed management, from heaven to earth and finally to us. We are the new cosmic managers.
There's this incredibly powerful quote from the Gen Young that anchors this idea perfectly. It makes it explicitly clear that human beings have transitioned from being passive, subordinate creatures to the absolute managers of the universe. The management of heaven, earth, and even the divine realm is now completely intertwined with human affairs.
Section 3. The meaning of mind and Yongdae. So, if we have all this cosmic power now, the obvious question is, how do we actually wield it? What's our tool?
Western philosophy usually separates the mind and body into a strict dualistic split, right? But Daesun thought views the mind, or sim, as the very form of God's existence. The mind acts as the Yungdae, and this is just a brilliant concept. It means your mind is literally the physical and spiritual passage where you and divine spirits directly interact and communicate.
This breakdown is super helpful to visualize things. You can see how Daesun thought doesn't discard traditional Eastern philosophies, it integrates and upgrades them into a unified human-centered framework. While Confucianism sought sagehood through awe and Buddhism sought nirvana through transcendence, Daesun thought aims for a perfected state through interactive participation with the divine. It takes those ancient core values and reinterprets them to fit our new job description as cosmic managers.
Section 4. Comparison with Western modernity. Understanding this clash is absolutely key to seeing the unique value of this indigenous framework today. The contrast here is pretty staggering. Western modernity separates the human subject from the natural object, mostly aiming to conquer nature through cold, hard reason. But Daesun thought's view of the human realm, the Ingeguan, relies entirely on an organic, harmonious relationship. It isn't about conquering anything. It's about participating in the construction of heaven and earth through a circular, mutual coexistence.
So the real takeaway is how Daesun thought totally sidesteps the destructive traps of Western human centrism. Western Enlightenment isolated human reason on a pedestal, but Daesun uses concepts like Jori, where logic is a universal cosmic principle, and Kiwa, where energy facilitates constant communication between spirit and matter. This binds humanity in a deeply responsible, organic relationship with the rest of creation, instead of just isolating us from it.
Which brings us to Section 5, Heiwan Songsang and repayment. Because look, with great cosmic power comes great cosmic responsibility.
If we truly are the managers of the Indian era, we have to repay the cosmic infrastructure that supports us. This is Chunji Bon. We are stepping out of abstract cosmology here and moving into grounded, everyday ethics. We have a literal duty to actively manage and uphold the grace of nature.
This piece of scripture is just beautiful, and it directly links our daily actions back to the cosmos. It's a reminder that human morality isn't just some invented social construct. Our morality directly influences the changes in nature itself. Since we sit right at the center of the three realms, our moral choices echo throughout the entire universe.
And that leads right into the core ethical practice, Hawan Seng Seng. If you're wondering exactly how we should act, this is the answer. We manage the universe by resolving past grievances and ensuring mutual life for everyone. You start to realize that saving and elevating other people is the exact same mechanism as elevating yourself. In a cosmos this interconnected, benefiting others literally is benefiting oneself.
Finally, Section 6, the significance of indigenous modernity. Let's see how all these pieces build into a self-sustaining paradigm that actually offers real solutions for our world right now.
The mechanics of this new era fundamentally rewrite the rules of reality in three ways. First, variability. Those old, rigid hierarchies are out the window, making the three realms completely fluid. Second, status elevation. Our status gets permanently upgraded so we can be active cosmic participants. And third, mutual compatibility. Through our practice, human actions literally change the divine and physical worlds, and we find ourselves on an equal cooperative footing with the divine.
Ultimately, Daesoon thought sits perfectly between two historical extremes. It takes the nature-centric view of traditional Eastern thought and the individual-centric view of Western modernity and bridges them. It creates this alternative, indigenous modernity, one that firmly empowers human beings as the center of the universe through Sungsa Jayin, but demands that we use that power to harmoniously manage and repay the natural world rather than exploit it.
I want to leave you with this to chew on. We look around at the massive ecological and social crises driven by our current models of modernity. But if we genuinely accepted this indigenous modernity, if we fully stepped into the Daesoon view of the human realm and Sengsa Jayin, perhaps the exact blueprint to fixing our deeply broken world has been waiting for us in this wisdom all along.